Hello friend, and welcome to Ultimate Wealth TV. I am your host, David Newby. This is the most passionate internet video blog on creating wealth and modeling billionaire techniques in your personal finances. Welcome to 2011. On today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you a big key that's going to help you have your best year yet this year in 2011, as well as go over a tale of two entrepreneurs. The wanting to be a successful entrepreneur and how you can go from being that person to, or even maybe being a wantrepreneur, maybe you're not in business yet, to being an ultra successful entrepreneur through using King Solomon's wisdom, his trillionaire tips or techniques. So, first of all, for the trillionaire wealth tip of the day from King Solomon, I was reading in Proverbs this morning, and one of the things it said was, though it cost all that you have, get wisdom, get understanding. And we just started, we have the beginning of a new year, 2011 here. You may be thinking to yourself, I have X amount of resources available to me, how do I best invest them? We all know the stock market is a rigged game. It's not really structured to benefit you. So maybe what I encourage you to do is, as a shift from the traditional way of investing, is first invest in yourself. In the last couple years, I've invested in my thinking a lot, and that has enabled me to go from working on deals that could pay me $100,000 or $200,000 to now I work on deals that can pay me upwards of $1 million, $10 million, 8 figures, high 8-figure deals. And I really haven't changed that much as a person, except that I've renewed my thinking and I've elevated the level of my thinking to just think bigger. And a lot of that has come down to do with issues of self-worth and seeing myself as worthy of working on big deals, and realizing it takes the same amount of energy to work on something small as it does to work on something big. So why not work on something big? So I would encourage you, be willing to invest in your own understanding and growing your own level of wisdom, and apply King Solomon's wisdom there. And again, he heavily invested in his own wisdom and understanding and became a trillionaire. So definitely you should model him this year in 2011. If you have $100,000 at your disposal, seriously look at investing $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 of that money in your own personal development, and that will come back to you in a very big way. Now, the tale of two entrepreneurs. In the last couple of weeks, I've consulted with two different people. One is an entrepreneur who had their best year in this past year. They paid me for a consultation. We went over how they can double the size of their business this year, and we also covered a way that they can put an extra couple hundred to $300,000 in their pockets just this year alone. And we covered five different strategies that they should implement, and we discovered that will make sense for them to implement the next year to maximize their success. Now, that guy he's serious. He invests in knowledge and wisdom, understanding what we were just talking about in King Solomon's techniques, and he's growing his business very quickly, and he's growing his net bottom line. He's increasing his wealth for him and his family quickly. The second person that I talked to has wanted to utilize a couple of the different services that one of my companies offers, which is helping them raise funding to do business ventures, and they'd like to convert part of their cash holdings into some precious metals and create some extra cash flow for themselves. Now, the second person twice has committed to a course of action and then not followed through, and they're basically making a lot of excuses for themselves, and they're not getting the results. So I just want to encourage you, look at those two entrepreneurs and ask yourself, which one am I more like? If you've had fear holding you back for a while from doing something that you know will benefit you, I encourage you, I'm going to give you two key strategies to overcome that fear, because if you're like that second entrepreneur, I can relate, because I was that same way myself for about 5 years in my mid-20s, until I basically went broke and got over my fears of losing my money, And also I got better instruction on how to do the business that I wanted to get into. And once I had that clear instruction and my fear was removed, I was able to move forward very quickly. So I want to encourage you, you don't need to go broke in order to move forward. But I want to encourage you, one way to get over your fear is just to feel the fear and do it anyways, okay? Founder of IBM said that if you want to know the formula for success, double your rate of failure. So basically, you know, that programming that you got from school that failure is bad, you need to throw that programming aside and adopt a new programming that failure is good. The faster you can fail and figure out what doesn't work, means the faster you're going to figure out what does work, as long as you're persistent. Almost every single multi-millionaire and billionaire has been bankrupt at least one time. So I want to encourage you, start taking action even if you're afraid. The second thing, this is a more advanced strategy, is to project forward with whatever you're afraid of and experience that fear fully. I have a good friend who did a really cool tweet the other week, and what it said was, fear, he said, feel everything and recover. So basically, another way that a friend of mine, Marshall, says it is that, you know, fail forward fast. Meaning, you know, whatever you're afraid of, you know, if you're afraid of failing, whatever you're afraid of, whatever that fear that brings up for you and you think of failing, just experience that fear fully. And he says the only way to conquer a fear is to experience that fear fully, and then you can move forward. So think about it. If you think of making a mistake in business or losing some money, a mistake in an investment, and think about, well, what would that mean? You know, does that mean that maybe someone that you care about, you let them down and they're going to be mad at you? You know, think about other times that you've let down someone that you cared about. Did they forgive you? Were you able to move forward? Did the relationship grow and flourish afterwards? A lot of times, if you just think forward and think about what would happen, then you can realize that, hey, you basically, like, your mind does not know the difference, your subconscious mind, between thinking about something and actually doing it. So if you just experience that fear and go all the way through the progression of what may happen, and then at the end of it you realize, hey, you're still alive, this can like help to condition your mind that, hey, I should go ahead and take action. And if that worst case scenario happens, I'll still be alive. Two things that you can look at are, you know, what do you want to regret at the end of your life? Even if you like made all these horrible mistakes just by going for it, and you know, like your spouse couldn't take it, or people in your life abandoned you, or it hurt relationships, at the end of your life, there's two things I want to encourage you with. One is, I think God's going to still love you. I mean, we're all children of God. He doesn't stop loving us because we make mistakes. Second of all is, what do you want to have regrets about when you die? Do you want to regret that you didn't go for more, or do you want to regret that you took chances? I mean, Teddy Roosevelt said the person who matters is the person who's out there in the arena doing stuff. It's not the critic. So at the end of your life, I want you to have the joy of looking back and saying, hey, whatever I accomplished, I gave it my all. And I sought wisdom, I worked on myself, I played the game. I played the game of life fully. So I want to encourage you, play at a bigger level, take those two advanced strategies with fear and get over it. You know, just experience that fear fully and go for it. And realize that what would happen if you make a mistake is probably not as bad as you know, the mistake of not ever taking a chance, not ever going for your dreams, and at the end of your life having a lot of regrets. So I want to encourage you, play big. You know, go for it this year in 2011, but don't do it willy-nilly. Do it in a wise way. You have a good team of advisors around you. You're investing in increasing your knowledge, then you're really going to increase your odds of success greatly. And again, this is the best time in your life to be alive. It's a recession. You're never going to see a better time than this to create massive wealth for yourself in the next 80 years. So go for it. Leverage all that you've got to get all that you want, and I'll talk to you very soon. Question of the day. What is your 2011 plan? Not resolution. What's your 2011 plan? Post it here on the blog, feel free to share as many details or as few details as you'd like. And I'm excited to hear what your plans are for this year, and be of service to you and helping you accomplish those plans. God bless. I'll talk to you soon.